Yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Jokes. Please don't go away. That would actually make me quite sad. So I'll start introducing my channel. Welcome to Kanis Krib, and we will be discussing topics to do with biochemistry and biomedical sciences. Before I start talking about the topic at hand, let me introduce myself. I'm Kanis Krib, and I'm currently in year 12 studying A-level chemistry, biology, and maths. As you can tell by my qualifications, guys, I'm no genius, okay? So I'm not an expert on these topics, and although I do try to research as much as I can, I won't be able to include everything, or would not have come across every single research paper in that specific topic. So if there are things that you would like to add and critique nicely, you can give your opinions. Or well, no, just please do give your opinions. I'm always down to learning new stuff and to be corrected. I want this channel to be a place where science is accessible to everyone so that we can all learn, including me. And after all, we are all starting from the crib. Get it? Because it's Kanis Krib. I know, guys, I'm too smart. No? Okay. Right, so now that I have finished with my introductory yap, let's talk about sleep and dreaming. Fun. Section 1. Why we sleep and why we do it. Okay, well, not even a century ago, sleep was considered a passive state where both the brain and body were inactive. Shakespeare described sleep in Macbeth as innocent and as the death of each day's life, saw labour's bath, and great nature's second course. Of course, to this day, sleep still feels this way. It acts as if it's a seamless transition between sunset and sunrise, rejuvenates our bodies, and almost cradles us when we have a bad day. However, unlike Shakespeare's comparison of sleep as death, we do not leave our still bodies when we slumber. Rather, our bodies are incredibly active during these hours, and later research has shown sleep is essential for brain function and overall well-being. The sleep cycle consists of two main types of sleep: non-REM, which we'll call REM, and REM, which we'll now refer to as REM. Non-REM sleep is split into 4 phases. The first stage is a transition phase between wakefulness and sleep. Essentially, this is when you first get into bed and finally get into the right position, and gradually you are no longer alert and aware of your surroundings. Stage 2 is described as light sleep, where your heart and breathing slow down, and body temperature drops by a degree or 2. Stages 3 and 4 are often clumped together and are referred to as deep sleep, and is the most restorative stage. Deep sleep is vital for memory consolidation, physical recovery, and overall restfulness. Recent research additionally suggests that non-REM sleep plays a more significant role in learning and memory than REM sleep. The REM sleep is when brain activity resembles wakefulness, and as the name suggests, eye movement is rapid. During this phase, breathing rate increases and the body becomes temporarily paralyzed. This stage is also where our dreams become the most vivid. Overall, this stage repeats approximately 4 to 5 times every night, and as we sleep, less time is spent in stages 3 and 4. As morning approaches, more time is spent in REM sleep. So now that we have looked at the different stages within the sleep cycle, let's focus on the anatomy of sleep. Within your brain, there is a minuscule structure about the size of a peanut called the hypothalamus, which has many roles such as maintaining the body's homeostasis. When it comes to sleep, this structure contains the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SEN. These are clusters of thousands of neurons which can regulate your behavioral rhythm by receiving information about light exposure from the eyes. The transition between wakefulness and sleep is controlled by the brainstem, a lower region of the brain which consists of the pons, the medulla, and midbrain. A brain chemical called GABA, or GABA, is produced by sleep-promoting cells in the hypothalamus and brainstem, which reduces the activity of these regions. The pons and medulla send signals to relax muscles that are responsible for body posture and limb movements, hence why we are paralyzed and don't act out in our dreams. The hypothalamus, which lies above the brainstem, communicates with the cerebral cortex, which one of its functions is to interpret and process short and long-term memory, using information from the senses. The thalamus becomes quiet during most stages of our sleep, meaning that we do not perceive our surroundings when we are sleeping. However, during REM sleep, the thalamus becomes active and sends the cortex images, sounds, and other sensations which make up our dreams. Due to signals received from the SEN, melatonin production increases in the pineal gland, which can be found within the brain's two hemispheres. Melatonin is a hormone which allows us to sleep as light exposure decreases. Another chemical released from the cells is adenosine, which promotes sleepiness. Near the front and bottom of the brain is the basal forebrain, which also induces sleep and wakefulness. Meanwhile, a region of the midbrain helps us stay alert during the day. The amygdala, an almond-shaped structure involved in processing emotions, becomes increasingly active during REM sleep. Section 2. Dreaming. Well, everyone dreams. You spend about 2 hours each night dreaming but may not remember most of your dreams. Its exact purpose isn't known, but dreaming may help you process your emotions. Events from the day often invade your thoughts during sleep, and people suffering from stress or anxiety are more likely to have frightening dreams. Dreams can be experienced in all stages of sleep, but usually most vivid in REM sleep. Some people dream in color, while others only recall dreams in black and white. Section 3. Theories. Okay, so theory 1. We dream to remember. It has been agreed by scientists that there is a relationship between sleep and learning, despite there being discourse of which stage of sleep is the most important. In 2010, a study was conducted which showed that participants were much better at getting through a 3D maze if they were able to map and dream of the maze in their sleep. This led scientists to believe that certain memory processes can only occur while asleep. Interestingly, similar behavior was shown in rats. In 2007, when MIT researchers Kenway Louise and Matthew Wilson recorded the brain activity in the hippocampus, which is a structure that plays a role in formatting and processing memories of these rats, while they ran through a maze and while they slept afterwards, the results were fascinating. There were identical activity of neurons observed in the hippocampus during running and during REM sleep. Hence, this was interpreted as the rats dreaming of running through the maze. The results produced were so identical that the researchers were able to map the precise location of the rat and maze of its dreams. This perhaps suggests that in evolutionary terms, animals, including humans, may dream to be prepared for hunting as a predator or escaping as a prey through, familiar landscape. Theory 2. We dream to rehearse. So, as humans, dreaming of dangerous and threatening situations is nothing novel. It links to the primitive instinct rehearsal theory that the content of a dream is significant to its purpose. A study has shown that children who experience serious threats in their daily lives tend to dream more of threatening situations than children who are exposed to less stressful events. However, it does not have to be the rehearsal of necessarily negative things. For example, having a dream about a sexual encounter with a crush may simply be rehearsal for the reproductive system. In addition, research has revealed that depending on a person's socio-cultural environment, the dreams that reflect stressful events may completely differ. While someone in African forager communities face threats like being attacked by a wild animal or falling down a well in their dreams, a resolution is reached due to social support. This shows how socially strong these communities are. On the other hand, stressful events may materialize as failing a test or losing a loved one for those from a Western community, where there is a lack of social support. Animals, however, show signs of the rehearsals differently. Daniela Rusler conducted a study on sleeping jumping spiders, also known as celticids. So during their REM periods, it was observed that they had uncoordinated body movements, where, for example, their legs would curl and then uncurl, and their spinnerets would go out of control. These movements were interpreted as the spiders practicing some of their waking behaviors, specifically those that they use as safety mechanisms. The silk they create can be used almost like a bungee cord in emergencies, while the extension of the legs could also be practiced for stopping themselves from falling. In the University of Chicago, Amish Dave and Daniel Margolish discovered that when zebra finches were asleep, in their forebrain, the robustus orchestratus archistratalis, there was a firing pattern of neurons that resembled the same firing pattern when the birds were singing particular notes. From this, it can be inferred that these zebra finches are practicing their songs while they're asleep. Theory 3. We dream to resolve, so that we can solve problems. So, although research has shown that deep non-REM sleep can consolidate a person's memories, during REM sleep, these memories can be blended together in abstract and highly novel ways. This is to formulate solutions to questions that may seem impossible to answer. However, a study also showed that dreaming also plays a vital role in this process. Participants were given anagrams to solve during different stages of their sleep. When woken up during the non-REM sleep, these patients were not able to solve many puzzles, showing the lack of creativity during the non-REM stage. In the REM sleep, 15% to 35% more puzzles were solved than when they were awake, where participants reported that they were able to solve the anagrams more easily as the solutions simply popped into their heads. So there are more theories, obviously, about why we dream, because there's no definitive answer as of yet. But these were the ones that I found the most interesting. If you do have any more theories that you also think is interesting or should have been mentioned in this video, do tell me by commenting in the video. Commenting below. Yes, commenting below. Well, in conclusion, dreaming seems to have a multifaceted role, and it is not exclusive to humans, as the array of animals that seem to show the dreaming state continues to expand. However, it cannot be confirmed whether animals have identical purposes for why they dream, as scientists cannot experience them, nor can animals report them. Imagine if they can. For example, scientists have not yet proved whether animals dream to fulfill their wishes, according to Sigmund Freud's theory, or whether they dream to forget or heal. Another issue lies with the link between REM sleep and dreaming, and it is not absolute. Humans can still dream when in non-REM, leading to the question whether the observations of animals in REM sleep are truly signs of dreaming. For example, the brain activity of the mice in the maze when sleeping could also be seen in planning or daydreaming. So that comes to the end of my first video. Guys, cheer. Thank you. I know. Such an achievement. So hopefully you found that useful, or at least you understand what I was saying and did not sound like absolute scientific jargon. If it did, I'm so sorry. Please berate me in the comments so that I can do better in the next one. That is if I don't cry while I look at those comments, or if anyone does comment. So yes. But yeah, sorry. So yes, so please do tell me what you think, what you found interesting, and any other thoughts that you may have. So yeah, thank you for coming or watching, I guess, my first video. So that is the first video of Kanis Krib done. Thank you.